Hello and welcome back to yet another board game channel where we will be having yet another turn in our playthrough of Eldritch Horror versus Azathoth. We're in not quite dire straits, but I expect that will get worse. Occurs to me that either the next Mythos card or the one after will be a rumor card, which will make things probably exponentially worse, especially since we're still trying to deal with the Windwalker, but we simply don't have the stuff to go after him yet. Well, we'll see how this turn goes. We will be moving right into the action phase, starting with Tony Morgan. Right, Tony is still up in Juneau, Alaska, where he is still suffering from hypothermia. He is haunted, and most importantly at the moment, he is detained, which means he can't perform any actions right now except trying to get rid of this card by testing his influence. Now, his influence is only 2, so we may be stuck here for the doing that card during the encounter phase. Come on, Tony. Nope. 2 and a 4. So that is the entirety of Tony's action phase because he can't do anything else, being detained, which we'll have to deal with in the encounter phase. So for now, let's move on to Finn. Alright, Finn Edwards, our bootlegger, is wandering around the pyramids and has suddenly remembered he has a courier run he needs to do on fairly nearby space 16, which he can get here this turn if he moves one, then uses his special action, which will allow him to move along any one sea or train path up there to number 16, where he'll have an encounter and finish off his courier run. Now we will be headed down to the tip of Africa, where Monterey Jack is. Jack is down in South Africa. First thing he's going to do is he still has this old journal that he's perusing. We're going to test his observation of 3 again, see if he can spot anything useful this time. And no, Jack's just not very observant these days. Alright, so we won't be doing that. However, we're now going to move him up to India. I'm thinking of getting him over into Shanghai to pick up a clue so that he can work on getting the other Eldritch token. Fingers crossed. And finally, we will be moving back over to San Francisco, where Rex Murphy is. Rex in San Francisco. His first act will be, he also has an old journal that he needs to glean over. I think that was the wrong word. Doesn't matter. We'll be testing his observation of 3 with cursed dice. So he requires a 6, which he didn't get. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to try, we're going to go ahead and use his Lucky Talisman, which once per round you may re-roll all your dice when resolving a test. Because it would really be nice to get some bonuses here from all these items. And it paid off. He rolled a 6. Huzzah! We'll tap the talisman. Alright, so he has found some information. We flip the card. You decipher a passage of the journal that predicts the coming of the outer god Nyarlathotep. Gonna have to practice that one. We have foreseen this. The messenger dwells in the distant past and waits for us in our future. It lives within our dreams and watches us from alien stars. It hides in our houses of law and defiles our temples. The crawling chaos approaches wearing many masks, and soon we will all bow before Nyarlathotep. Gain 3 clues. Wow. And discard this card. Well, that was worth it. Glad we did the reroll there. We will grab 3 random clues. Count them 3. And I was going to have him maybe pick up an asset using his special action, but seeing as how he is quite close to Arkham, where the other Eldritch token is, I think I've changed my mind, and I'm just going to start moving him towards Arkham so we can get this thing solved next turn. That's wonderful. All right, that was very helpful. Thank you, Rex, for lifting yourself up out of your despair and helping the rest of us. All right, that concludes everybody's actions. We'll now move on to the encounter phase, and we'll be staying around these parts to have our first encounter with Tony Morgan. All right, poor Tony, who was not able to calm the mob last turn and got himself detained in some way, will not have a regular encounter. Instead of resolving an encounter, flip this card. Holding cell. Your captors rarely speak except to interrogate you for information. You don't think you can hold out much longer, and you hope that the guard that watches your cell might take pity on you. Spend 1 clue or test will -1, which would only give him 1 die. If you fail, they beat you and leave you to die, lose 2 health and 2 sanity. Well, seeing as Rex just got that boatload of clues, I am willing to spend Tony's clue to prevent him from being beaten to a pulp by a hostile guard. Yeah, I think that was the best we could hope for that encounter. Now we'll head over to Finn. Finn the bootlegger up in northern Russia, it looks like, is going to have just a generic city encounter. I'll just focus there. A man called Joey the Rat offers you the secret of a hidden treasure. You haggle over the price. Well, this is very appropriate for our bootlegger to be hanging out with somebody called the Rat. Now, his influence is 3. He is blessed. So we got pretty good odds here. Yes, in fact, we got 2 successes. If you pass, he sells you an old drawing. Gain 1 treasure map unique asset. If you fail, not an issue. Alright, let's go to the unique asset. First thing off the bottom. Another treasure map. When you gain this card from the deck, place 1 random clue face up on this card after resolving a location encounter or an expedition encounter on that space with this card. That's just like what Monterey Jack started with, so let's dig through the clues. And that will be space 5. Oop. Well, don't need to see that. I can just tell you that it is space 5 which is going to be way over in North America, so it's going to take him a while to get there if we go for the treasure. Now, that means that Finn has finished off his courier run to space 16. Discard that clue. After resolving a location encounter on that space, flip this card. You meet with an elderly man and deliver the message you carry. He reads the letter slowly and with quiet deliberation. When he finally speaks, he tells you of a mission of great importance. You carefully listen to his instructions before departing. Gain 2 unique assets and discard one of them. Then discard this card. Alright, so we're going to look for a couple of tasks and then see which one of them we like best. There's one, and there is another. We can either go with Know Thy Enemy. Whenever you gain a clue during a research encounter, place 1 Eldritch token on this card. You may then flip the card. So we can build up Eldritch tokens to get better things, presumably. And then sacrifices to make. When you perform a focus action, you may spend 1 health to place 1 health on this card. You may then flip this card. I think we're going to go with Know Thy Enemy, because it involves getting hurt less so than the other one. Alright, so had a little bit of progress there. We will now move on to Monterey Jack. Jack is in India, and he's going to have a generic city encounter. You step forward to protect an innocent bystander from a gang of thugs. Strength -1. Let's see. His strength is 4, so he'd be rolling with 3. His bullwhip only gives him a bonus during a combat encounter. This is just a regular old encounter. No, and he whiffed completely. If you pass, didn't happen. If you fail, the gang delivers a beating to you as well. Lose 1 health and gain an internal injury condition. So we will remove 1 health from Jack, and then look for an internal injury. There we are. Okay. Whoop. Right, we have to watch out for this. During the reckoning, we will be testing strength, and if we fail, we flip the card, and more bad things happen. When you perform a rest action, roll a die, and on a 5 or 6, discard the card. So he can get rid of it, at least. So that will bring us back around to Rex Murphy. Rex is in the center of North America, and he will also get a generic city encounter. The police report that people are being abducted by a monster dwelling in the sewer system. Wandering through the underground tunnels, you are suddenly attacked by a deep one. Test strength of 3 in his case. But he is still cursed. Ah, but he pulled it off. Way to go, Rex. If you pass, you defeat the creature and rescue its hostage. Gain 1 random ally asset from the deck. If you fail, so on and so forth. Alright, so it says to take it from the deck. So we will just, oh, there was one right on top. That's convenient. Now Rex has, following him around, a witch doctor. Investigators on your space may discover may recover 1 additional health or discard a cursed condition when performing a rest action. Yes. Good job, Rex. That was ideal. We can fix his gloomy status next turn anyway, when we have him rest. All right, that is it for the actions. Sorry, that is it for the encounters. And now we will be moving on to the baddies getting their turn with the mythos phase. All right, here it is, the mythos phase. We have even odds that this is going to be another nasty rumor. Let's grab it, and yes, it's a rumor with tentacles. Yay! Okay, first things first, we're going to spawn 2 clues, given the number of players. We have 1 way down in Antarctica, and 1 at Space 18 way down in the Antarctic Sea. They're far away. Then we put an investigation token, whatever this one is called. I don't recall. One of these on London. Something important is happening in London. Then we put 2 Eldritch tokens on this card. Just 2. And let's have a look at it. What horrible thing is happening? The distortions radiate outward from London. Something in the vast history and magic of those streets is the root of these tears in reality. Eye of the storm, ongoing rumor. After an investigator closes a gate, he may spend 1 clue to spend 1 Eldritch token on this card. To place 1 Eldritch token on this card. I guess to slow it down. As an encounter, an investigator on London may search for the cause of the instability, observation -1. If he passes, he mends the tear in reality, solve this rumor. When there are no Eldritch tokens on this card, investigators lose the game. And Eldritch tokens go away during reckonings. So that's pretty terrible, because it's an insta-lose. On the other hand, it's not something that is especially challenging to do. We just need somebody with decent observation over there, which would probably be Tony Morgan, although he's miles away. Everybody else is at 3. Okay, we'll have to figure out where who's going to go to London and try to solve this for us before the entire world is destroyed by tears in the fabric of reality. Yay! Go team! Alright, that concludes this turn of Eldritch Horror, Azathoth. Just want to say thanks to everybody who's actually watching this. I'm surprised my very first video, which went up less than a week ago, already has at least 50 views on it, so thank you everyone for that. And a few people have subscribed, so thank you to all of them. And we will see you next time for Eldritch Horror.